Hello, everybody. Mr. Odom here, and I am going to go over section 2.1, rational numbers, and this is your lesson on this topic in chapter 2. As always, you will need a pencil, composition book, or notebook paper to take notes, and a calculator. All right, the learning targets for this video are I understand that a rational number is an integer divided by an integer. Pretty simple. And I can convert rational numbers into decimals and decimals into rational numbers, which is really the main idea in this section. So let's get started. What do we got here? Some definitions. So these are things whenever you see something highlighted in yellow in any of these lessons, consider that an important vocabulary word. So make sure you put that in your composition book and write down the definition and keep it and study it. So what is a rational number? A rational number, excuse me, is a number that can be written as the ratio of two integers. So we've talked about what integers are. They are the whole numbers and their opposites. So here are some examples, let me erase this, of some rational numbers here and here and here and here, right? A decimal is a rational number because I can write it as a ratio of two integers. So for 1/4 or 1 to 4, that is the same as 0.25. And that's something you can work on in your calculator. You would just put in your calculator 1 divided by 4. And you guys probably remember that. But look over here. Here, this is also a rational number, -1/2. And notice I have it equal to -1/2. And we're going to look at the study tip in a moment. But it's interesting that these are equal to each other. And -3 is the same as -3/1 because any number divided by 1 is just the number. Okay, so here's another definition for rational numbers. It's a number that can be written. So this is kind of an algebraic definition here. Let me highlight that. Algebraic definition here. And basically says a rational number is a number that can be written as A over B, or A divided by B. And A and B are integers, and we don't want B to be 0. So an example of a rational or a number that is not a rational number would be something like 7/0. Okay, so for this class, we are not going to be doing that. Okay, so if you see 0 in the denominator and someone says, hey, is that a rational number? You can say, no, it's not, because the denominator is 0. All right. This picture is to just show you the set of rational numbers and how big it is compared. So here's my rational numbers. And the rational numbers, inside the rational numbers, we have the integers, and then we have the whole numbers. Okay, remember the whole numbers start at 0, and they're all the positive integers, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, blah, 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 blah. And then the integers are the whole numbers, and then we take the negative numbers, -1, -2, -3, -4, blah, 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 blah. I don't even know I'm doing that. Rational numbers are, these are examples of what would be in the set of rational numbers. Notice we have mixed numbers here. We have decimals, and we're going to talk about what that little bar means. We have negative fractions. We have positive decimals. We could have negative decimals, positive fractions, positive decimal, and negative mixed numbers. There's a whole bunch of numbers in there. All right, for this study tip, the important part here is to remember that if P and Q are integers, then this negative sign can be moved next to the numerator or next to the denominator. So here's an example. -3 halves is the same as -3 over 2, which is the same as 3 over negative 2, okay? So that's all the study tip is telling you, is that this negative sign is you can move it either to the numerator, denominator, or out in front. Usually when you have a final answer to a problem and it's a negative rational number, we'll put the negative sign out here in the front. Okay, we won't leave it in the numerator or denominator. We'll write it like this. Okay. A couple other definitions. Repeating decimal is what it sounds like. It's a decimal that repeats. So negative 1.33, and the 3 dots would mean 3 forever. What we do is we write a little bar over the number that's going to repeat. Let me erase that so you can see it. So that bar is written over the number that is repeating. So negative 1.333 ... is the same as negative 1.3 repeating. That's how I say it. 1.3 repeating. Okay. And here's another example. Notice that I have 0.151515 ... which means this would be 151515 blah, blah, blah. And I can write it as 0.15 repeating. So whenever I see a bar over there, that means over the decimal, it means that that is repeating. That part is repeating. Terminating decimals are ones that you've probably seen a lot of, and they are just decimals that come to an end. Yeah, that's all they are. That's it. And you've seen a lot of these, so I'll move on. So things that we need to be able to do, we have to be able to write rational numbers as decimals. And so how do we do this? This is where you are going to use your calculator. So I will work out the first two, and you can work out the last two. So for number 1, I have negative 6/5. All I do is in my calculator, I will type in negative 6 divided by 5. Why can I do that? Because this fraction is the same as negative 6 divided by 5. So you just put that in your calculator. I got my calculator, I just turn it on, I type in negative 6 divided by 5, and I get an answer of negative 1.2, or negative 1 2/10. All right. So that's how you do number 1. Number 2 is what? Negative 7 3/8. So here's 2 ways to do this one. All right. So the first way, go in this direction, is I'm going to, what kind of number is this? This is a mixed number. So I can just leave the integer part of the mixed number, leave it alone. So that's going to be negative 7, and I'm going to put a decimal there. And then in my calculator, I'm going to write 3, or put in 3 divided by 8 in my calculator. So let me do that. 3 divided by 8 equals. And this answer is 0.375. So I just take this part to the right of the decimal, and I move it here and put it next to the negative 7 and this decimal point. So I end up with this. Negative 7.375, or we can say that that is negative 7 375 thousandths, right? Thousandths, because this is the tenths place. You guys remember that, right? Your place value. This is the hundredths. I'm just going to write like that because I'll probably spell it wrong. And then this is the, no, I should actually try to spell it. This is the thousandths, THS. And then this one would be the hundred, THS. So tenths, hundredths, thousandths. Okay? So what I want you guys to do is I want you to stop the video, pause it, and work out these two. Actually, this is going to be an Edpuzzle. So the video is going to stop when I stop talking, and you guys take a couple minutes to work out these problems. Okay, we're back. And let's see, what did you get for the answer to number 3? You would just put in your calculator, -3 divided by 11. You're excited about that. And you notice it is negative 0.27. And then on your calculator just goes on, 2727, 27, 27, 27, 27. Right? Can you guys do that really fast? 27, 27, 27, 27, 27, 27, 27. So I need to put a bar, which means now this is negative 0.27 repeating, okay? And for number 4, we get, why don't I have this equal sign here? I don't need that. I just need to put the answer down. Come on, Odom, yay. So this is going to be 1, and then I put the decimal, and then in my calculator I put 5 divided by, what, 27. And this is 185, and that repeats. So this should be, and this is kind of sloppy. Let me put it together. I'm just excited because I'm doing some math today. 1 and 1.185, 185, 185, 185, 185, 185, 185 forever. So I put the bar, which means that these 3 digits repeat over the part that's repeating. Okay, I'm gonna put this in red. You can't do stuff like this. This is not a repeating. Let me see if I can do one. 6, and then if I put a 4 here. Okay, that's not a repeating decimal. And this actually, you can't really write this. Why? Because this part goes on forever. So how do you know there's a 4 there? How do you know? You can't, I don't know. There could be something else there or nothing. So we can't do things like that. Don't do it. It's not good. All right, let's move down and look at number 5, 6, 7, and 8. So now let's work out these problems. And it says write the decimal as a fraction or a mixed number in simplest form. So I'll do, maybe I'll do 6 and 7, and you can do 5 and 8. So for number 6, let me write this down. 0 and 125 thousandths. So notice how I said that. I could have said 0.125, but I didn't. And the reason I didn't is because if I say this decimal in terms of place value, 0 and 125 thousandths, then I can write that. 125 thousandths. Whoopsies, now I have a fraction, and what do I do with all my fractions? I have to simplify them. All right, and let's see. If you were, let's see, 100, blah, blah, blah. This is actually equal to 1/8 because you could divide both numerator and denominator by 125. Okay. And if you can't see that, then first look at what you could divide numerator and denominator by. You could probably divide them both by 5, and then you're going to have to divide them again, and you're going to have to divide them again, and divide them again, until you get to 1/8. So always try to find the largest number that goes into both the numerator and denominator. That'll help a lot. All right, what did I say? I said I'd do number 7. Okay, let me do number 7. So number 7 is -3 and 1/10. All right, so I can write that. -3 and 1/10. Okay. Do I need to simplify this mixed number? Is the fraction part simplified? Yes, it is. Okay, so then I'm done. I can just write it -3 and 1/10, and I can move on, get on with my life, and just, yeah, well, okay. Anyway, so I did these 2 problems, and now the video is going to pause for a moment, and you guys are going to work out problems 5 and 8, and then you will come back. Okie dokie. So we're back. And what did we get for number 5? Number 5 should be -7/10. Is this in simplest form? Yes, it is. So bam, there's your answer. Bam, there you go. Number 8, what do you get? -10, and I'll just work this one out a little bit. So this would be 25 hundredths, and I can simplify this part of it. So it becomes -10, and it should be 1/4. And you're good to go. This is in simplest form. Okay. So you guys will get some practice in this and big ideas. Hopefully this video was helpful. Again, the goal of this video was hopefully you can do this and be all comfortable and happy about it. All right. So that's all I have for today. This is Mr. Odom, and I'm out.